Have you ever experienced an unintended consequence? How did it impact your personal or professional life? One example of an unintended consequence can be seen right here in a garden. In the past, many of us simply used weed killers in our gardens without a second thought. One unintended consequence of that is the overuse of certain weed killers that may contribute to the dramatic decline of the bee population. In the world of scientific research, one unintended consequence has been the enforcement of an open access law on the rise of predatory publishing. In 2008, Congress passed an appropriations bill that included a short passage instructing researchers to submit all publications that receive funding from the National Institutes of Health to an open and public database called PubMed Central. The motivation for this law is commendable. It builds on the idea that medical research funded by taxpayers should be available for free to taxpayers. But here's where the unintended consequence occurred. Unethical publishers, also known as predatory publishers, found an instant and easy way to insert their publications into the public domain. Predatory publishing is a process that accepts results of scientific research at face value without rigorous peer review, but then publishes them in a format that misleads the reader to believe that peer review actually occurred. In many cases, the research and author of the study does not even realize that a publisher is predatory until it is too late, and the research is published in an unethical journal. Research that is funded by National Institutes of Health but published in a predatory journal is still deposited into PubMed Central due to the appropriations law. So what is PubMed Central? Have you ever heard of the National Library of Medicine? This library coordinates PubMed. You can think of PubMed as a large table or platform that supports several databases. The largest and most well-known database is Medline. This is a database of quality peer-reviewed medical journals that are indexed by the National Library of Medicine after a rigorous selection process. It is the largest and most respected medical literature database in the world. On the same platform of PubMed is PubMed Central, the repository of medical research articles that are open access or free to the public. This database contains articles from quality sources, some of which are indexed in Medline, as well as a small but growing number of articles from predatory publishers. One search of this entire PubMed platform, both of these sources. So what can we do to avoid these unintended consequences? In my garden, I plant native pollinator plants. I mulch annually, and I manually weed to avoid the use of weed killers. I do my best to attract and support local bee populations. When searching medical databases, I'm aware of the issue of predatory publishers, and I evaluate all results found in PubMed to make sure that I only use quality sources. Happy gardening!